I'm Ian Collins, and I've just written a biography of the Philhellene painter John Craxton. The publication happily coincides with the bicentenary of the Greek Revolution. John was the English nomad boy who always longed to live and paint in Greece. He achieved his goal and was not disappointed. From 1946, when he was 23, until his death in 2009, the life, light and landscapes of the Aegean coloured his linear pictures with joy. He had so many famous friends: Margot Fonteyn, Paddy Lee Fermer, Nico Geika, George Seferis, David Attenborough, to name but 5. But his art celebrated ordinary people and the company he most liked to keep. His favourite models were shepherds and sailors. And since naval forces proved so vital to the outcome of the Greek War of Independence, I offered to the celebrations this wonderful Craxton painting of naval conscripts lunching in Crete in the 1980s. It speaks so well to both the history and the ongoing spirit of Greece. Back in 1951, Craxton had designed the Daphnis and Chloe ballet for Margot Fonteyn, Frederick Ashton and Covent Garden. Although there were shepherds in the longest story from ancient Greece, the saga, likened by Craxton to Pompeian Barbara Cartland, rendered them rather wet, not at all like the shepherds John knew. The virile pirates ranged against the soppy rustics were much more to his taste, and he told a friend that although the ballet was mostly to be performed in modern Greek dress, he had sailors from 1820s Hydra in mind for the pirates. Wayne Sleep, who played the Pirate King in a later production, told me that John would have made the perfect Pirate King himself. He loved the Greek spirit at its wildest, and still in the 1980s, when so many sailors were conscripted shepherds, the taverna sign at the top of this picture spoke volumes. No breakage by order. The authorities had long tried to ban smashing late-night taverna parties when the feasting and drinking gave way to singing and dancing, and diners then broke plates at the feet of the best dancers before paying for their share of the damage. Here was a ritual that might scare tourists of a more nervous disposition, so to John Craxton's intense displeasure, it had to go. In fact, it lingered on for decades. But these three are starting to eat lunch, and the atmosphere, especially as expressed in the leftmost figure, is more melancholic than manic. As Paddy Lee Fermer wrote of young conscripts such as these, one sees them wandering around Hania, not knowing where to go, not at all happy at being in Crete, and sad and homesick for their islands and harbours. The look will vanish after a few drinks. In this painting, Paddy saw allusions to biblical suppers and to Byzantine icons, and harking back to the artist's earlier Cubist period to allow havoc to be played with accepted perspective and assist his own point of view. The picture has the atmosphere of an enigma, Paddy concluded, and such are sometimes best expressed or hidden in a plain statement. For John Craxton, the most serious ideas were often best expressed in a joke. There are optical puns all over this picture, in which the painter has signed the cigarette packet, dated the beer bottle, and added the location of Crete to a sailor's cap on the foreground chair. The composition is titled Still Life with Sailors, so the food is rendered on equal terms with the figures. It's the life that the artist wanted to capture, and life, he concluded, was more important than art. He loved food, wine, conversation, laughter. The most beautiful sound in the world, he once told me, is people talking over a meal.